Happy holidays, everybody, and Tony here with my review of the Lied und Lyrik William Shakespeare concert, which I saw at the Pierre Boulez Saal. The baritone was Roderick Williams, the pianist was Julius Drake, the actor was Toby Jones, and the works performed tonight were done by William Shakespeare, more specifically from a good chunk of his plays such as You Like It, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Cymbeline, Sonnet 128, The Tempest, and Twelfth Night, just to name a few, and compositions done by Henry Purcell, Robert Schumann, Jean Sibelius, Joseph Haydn, Franz Schubert, Madeline Dring, Gerald Finzi, Ralph Vaughan Williams, Francis Poulenc, Benjamin Britten, Roderick Williams himself, Ivor Gurney, Erich Wolfgang Korngold, Claude Debussy, Hector Berlioz, Michael Tippett, and Joseph Vernon. It's been over a decade since I first listened to Roderick Williams' sumptuous and well-focused baritone voice. When I first heard him perform the role of Jesus from Johann Sebastian Bach's St. John's Passion, live streamed from the Berliner Philharmonie. And while he did make such a strong first impression on me, I was so curious to see a lot more of this charismatic and charming baritone. And after 10 years had passed, I can still confirm that he continues to deliver the goods in terms of his vocal charisma, virile charm, and fine overall technique. The way I perceive Mr. Roderick Williams is that he derives from a good line of Anglo baritones, let alone Anglo-speaking baritones, whether they be from the United Kingdom or Australia, most notably John Brownlee, Roy Henderson, Benjamin Luxon, and John Shirley Quirk. He also had some influences from some Germanic lyric baritones such as Gerhard Hüsch, Willy Domgraf Fassbender, and Karl Schmidt-Walter. When combining all of these facets about those past baritones together into Roderick Williams as a performer, listeners receive a good idea what his overall voice and repertoire and style equate to. I've always admired Roderick Williams in terms of his overall fine charisma and his dashing stage and vocal presence. Everything about his voice and manner radiated with fine, noble virility. He had a sufficiently expressive voice that had that nice, dark quality that I love in many lyric baritones such as Gerhard Hüsch and even John Brownlee. And it's a naturally fine baritone voice that does not sound like a short tenor and that does not sound like an undeveloped tenor. It's a natural, homogeneous sounding and pleasing baritone voice that is pleasant to the ear and manages to carry itself well throughout the theater in such a fine manner. It's not a voice that would go out of its way to sing a lot of the bigger roles like Verdi's Macbeth or Amonasro or even Rigoletto, Il Conte di Luna or Giorgio Germont. It's more of a voice that can be capable of singing Lieder, some Mozartian roles, as well as some German and French lyric baritone roles, which were the roles that Roderick Williams has aced in. And his performance tonight in this concert also captured what he was able to accomplish, as well as a highlight of what his overall voice and manner were defined by: nobility, virility, and a great sense of charisma. Some of the highlights for me were If Music Be the Food of Love by Henry Purcell, in which he was able to make his voice sound sweet and pleasant while still maintaining that virility, which is also the similar cases found in Joseph Haydn's She Never Told Her Love. Franz Schubert's An Sylvia, Madeline Dring's Take, Oh Take Those Lips Away, and also Franz Schubert's Ständchen, Horch, Horch die Lerch, and Ralph Vaughan Williams' Orpheus with his lute. There's a sweetness and clarity to Mr. Williams' voice that managed to reflect those absolutely lovely songs. And the sweetness does not stop with those songs, but also Hector Berlioz's La Mort d'Ophélie, in which he was able to clarify and lighten his voice to the point where he was able to play up the fragility that Ophelia has in her final moments after she's gone crazy for losing Hamlet to his own ambition to avenge his father and take over the throne. And we had to radiate with charisma and let his voice pour out. He accomplished just that, especially with his composition, Sigh No More Ladies, in which that virility of his voice and that passion that he had radiated so beautifully. Not to mention the additional strength that he exuded in Erich Wolfgang Korngold's Blow, Blow, Thou Winter Wind, thus making his voice just shine throughout the theater and radiate with virile charisma, and doing so in a way that had that round, rich, and smooth quality. Sure, these days the vibrato is a little bit on the loose side, but I could forgive that slight caveat because Roderick Williams' charisma, charm, virility, and sheer focus as a musician and a performer managed to shine all the way through, and he managed to take great advantage of his natural lyric baritone voice to make his voice absolutely pleasing to the ear, and also never forget that behind all of these songs that he's singing is a story that he has conveyed to all of us, the audience, and he did so with élan, aplomb, and a whole lot of great interest and distinction. So I have to give major props to Roderick Williams for what he was able to accomplish as a fine singer, taking great advantage of his naturally round lyric baritone voice that just radiated with sheer virility and a whole lot of class to boot in every song that he sang. Julius Drake was just as excellent of a musician, and he also accompanied Mr. Roderick Williams exceedingly well. He was accurate in his piano playing, and he managed to exercise excellent agility as well as grace, clarity, and focus. That is just how much a sterling musician Julius Drake was, and his solo number, which was Claude Debussy's The Little Shepherd from the Children's Corner, managed to be absolutely interesting and endearing to listen to, as well as well-paced, well-focused, and thoroughly clean all the way through. There was not one fault that he made as a piano player, and he did so with a lot of sheer excellence. Toby Jones has a very down-to-earth approach with the Shakespearean texts. Sure, one would expect anyone who recites these texts to be a lot more declamatory as well as a lot more impassioned. But I argue that Toby Jones's slightly more naturalistic delivery as well as his more down-to-earth approach with the Shakespearean text managed to make us, the audience, feel a lot more at ease when listening to his down-to-earth delivery that's not too shouty, nor too over the top, nor too over declamatory. It's a natural sounding voice that managed to lend itself well to the text and did so with his own brand of charisma. He wasn't the type of actor to go totally over the top. He wasn't that type of performer who was going to have some quirks. He was natural in his delivery, and he managed to make the Shakespearean text quite digestible for all the audience members to listen to. There was no shadow of a doubt that the Lied und Lyrik William Shakespeare concert managed to be an overall fine experience. And this was thanks to Roderick Williams' fine musicianship, which he was able to carry through with virile aplomb and with excellent accuracy, thus making his voice radiate sufficiently with charisma, charm, and a whole lot of interest. He was also able to make that lyric baritone voice of his come out in such a natural way that I was continuously enamored with what Mr. Williams accomplished as a dashing singing actor whose tall, debonair, and handsome stage and vocal presence reminds listeners and viewers of a lot of the great Anglo and even American baritones of the past, such as Roy Henderson, John Brownlee, and even Robert Merrill, John Reardon, and Theodore Upman, unless they forget about the other great British baritones such as John Shirley Quirk and Benjamin Luxon. He was able to stay as strong as he's always been as a singer, as well as an overall performer. Bolstering the performance was, without a doubt, Julius Drake's accurate and clearly pinpoint excellence on the piano, and Toby Jones's naturalistic delivery and overall down-to-earth nature in how he managed to negotiate the Shakespearean text. It was quite the wonderful evening for great British literature being put to music, especially when there are composers such as Henry Purcell, Robert Schumann, Franz Schubert, and Joseph Haydn being put to great use, and also did so with fabulous aplomb. And for those of you who listened to the Lied und Lyrik William Shakespeare concert at the Pierre Boulez Saal, what'd you think of it? Did you feel that Roderick Williams continued to exercise excellent musicianship, charisma, and an overall steady tone that made him consistently fabulous as a singer? Was there a song that you particularly loved from this concert? Did you also feel that Julius Drake and Toby Jones contributed so handsomely? Or was the concert not really to your liking? Please let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for my review of the Lied und Lyrik William Shakespeare concert starring Roderick Williams, Julius Drake, and Toby Jones. Tune in tomorrow for my review of Tobias Kehler's Advent concert at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. So until then, happy holidays, everybody!